Hey guys, it's Bladeofire here, bringing you a new StarCraft English commentary. Again, a chosen game from the Winners League, the third round of Pro League. Game played 2 days ago in the match between SKT and KTF MagicNs. And please, important announcement, watch the first 4 sets on the Nevaka account. 5th set I have commentated on, and here comes the spoiler. This is the 6th set between those two guys that you see up there on the screen. This is Flash right there to the left playing for KTF. And Fantasy being the pick of SKT 1. So Flash is the one that has advanced through the Clan War format by defeating Hyuk in set 5, the game that I've commentated on, and Fantasy has been picked now by SKT 1 to try to stop the little weapon, because this could possibly be a deciding set in this matchup, because KTF is already up 3-2, and if Flash manages to win here in this TVT on Colosseum II, it would mean a victory for KTF overall. And I really like this Clan War format of the Winners League, and I've also seen a poll on Team Liquid 2 days ago, I believe, where 70-something% of the voters were all in favor of keeping this Winners League format for other rounds of Pro League from now on, simply because it makes for much more intense series, and it's really nice to see how teams throw players at each other trying to stop one player's winning streak. And in some cases it even wasn't possible. I think that up until now 2 players have already managed to win 4 games in a row and just, you know, do it all alone for their team. I think it was Luxury and Yarnak, I believe, that managed it already. Later almost managed it also with a 3-game winning streak. And so really good players facing each other off in these games could be decisive, because if one good player beats the other really good player, he could go on to beat, you know, like moderately good players from the other team and just take it home for the team. So very, very intense series in this Winners League. I hope they do keep it in the Pro League, or at least that they will use it in the future again, and I'm pretty sure that the Koreans like it as well. I don't see why the Koreans should not agree with you know, the foreign community on this aspect, but you know, you never know what the Koreans are doing. So anyway, to give you the positions, it's Fantasy at the bottom left as the red Terran, and Flash as the yellow Terran at the top right, and you see Flash building his barracks right now. It appears that Fantasy is going to go for an economy game. He doesn't seem to be building anything right here, so he will be going for a quick command or a Fortin CC over at that expansion, and this is something doable on Colosseum II. If you don't know the map, it's basically players starting off in one of the 4 corners, and they have 2 close expansions, one right there as you see it up on that ramp at the top, so in this case at the top, and for Fantasy the other one is to be found close a little bit to his right from the main, and in between these 2 plateaus, so to speak, where these expansions are to be found, there is a narrow valley through which your opponent can attack your main, and you can block that that valley, I believe, with 1 barracks and 2 supply depots, meaning that you can wall yourself in, and he's probably also gonna make a bunker there very soon to just be able to cope with the pressure that Flash will be putting on him very quickly now. And speaking about these 2 players' performances, Flash has been doing awesome in TVT as of late. He has won, I think, his last 10 or even more TVTs. He has a winning streak in TVT from mid October, and he's also won over Fantasy 3 times since then, twice in the GOM Classic Season 2, and he just scouted Fantasy, by the way, there, so he will be putting the pressure very, very soon now. So winning 2-0 in the GOM Classic Season 2, and also winning once in the Pro League. On the other hand, Fantasy hasn't been doing that great. I mean, he's a decent TVTer, but this is not his strongest matchup, and also he's been losing lately to some players. I think he lost to C and some other guys, not entirely sure. Should check that out soon. But I'm wanting to commentate on this because this could be a very, very important moment here, because Flash will be behind in economy if he does not manage to stop Fantasy very quickly. So it will either go to a very quick game won by Flash, or it will go to a longer game in which probably Fantasy will take the victory. And you saw Flash building that starport there, so he will have Wraiths around very soon to put extra pressure. So Flash needs to finish off his opponent very quickly now, and he has already managed to kill quite a couple of SCVs, killing some more SCVs there, and he needs to take very much care with his Marines. These are really worth gold for him right now. He should maybe go in right now. I don't know why he lets Fantasy finish that bunker. I think this is a mistake. He had twice as many Marines. He should have gone in my opinion, and attacked those Marines. But in the meantime, they will be put into the bunker. It may be that Flash is waiting for that starport to finish, so as to maybe build a not Wraiths, but rather a dropship, and then drop these Marines that he's not like try to sacrifice into the main directly and inflict a lot of damage. So I think that would be a pretty good strategy, and it would be very hard for Fantasy to really do anything about it right now, simply because he is behind in tech. But however, he is of course much ahead in economy, so the game will be decided in probably the next 2 or 3 minutes right now, depending on how well Fantasy manages to defend and how well Flash manages to attack. And you know, with that godly micro of Flashes, I think it will be very difficult for Fantasy to really be able to fend this off. However, you know, he's a very good StarCraft player, so you cannot write him off right here. And Flash attacking that barracks from the top of that rock, he's not being hit by the bunker. Of course, the distance is simply too large. He does again pull the Marines back when the tanks come, so he seems again, indeed, he did want to save them all up for this drop, and now he will be going for a drop, and this could be a crucial drop. I think it has been scouted. I think Fantasy knows the drop is coming in, and the drop is coming in, and Flash is dropping his units here. He has to fend this off, and Fantasy coming in with SCVs. Fantasy managing to catch all the Marines in between those SCVs, and Flash's drop is really... oh man, Flash's drop really did not work out the way he wanted to. There he does manage to drop 2 tanks again, and he will get some SCV kills, but I think he wanted to do so much more damage with those Marines, and great job from Fantasy cornering those Marines in between the SCVs. The tanks now are microed really crazy, like Reaver shuttle micro. We have here tank dropship micro from Flash, but still not as much damage as he should have inflicted. And I don't know why he did not go for the main directly, but rather for this expansion. It's maybe closer to attack, but I think he should have maybe tried to go for the main directly, try to go like for the throat of his opponent of Fantasy. And finally now Wraiths out as well. The problem is that Fantasy already has siege tech. He was able to research it, and he will have his own Wraiths up very soon, meaning that Flash needs to do something very quickly so as to stay in this game, to have viable chances of winning this, because every second that goes by means a second in which Fantasy fights 2 bases versus 1 base, and in which Fantasy manages to get a good lead in economy. And also, you have to admit that Flash did not inflict that much economical damage as he should have by this time to Fantasy, and he's again dropping like crazy. You see great micro there around these SCVs. He does manage to kill a lot of SCVs, but still, I have to feel that Fantasy is ahead up until now, and that Flash still needs to do something special right now, and he will be probably trying to establish a contain very soon, and try to continuously pressure his opponent, because I don't see any other possibility for Flash. Now he is not building a command center, meaning that he is going more or less all in with his attacks now. He could have, of course, instead of building that starport back then, gone for a command center and tried to catch up in economy slowly. However, he went for quick tech, he went for quick dropships, and I don't know, I don't think that really worked out for him as, you know, as good as he would have wished for it to go. And yeah, I think that was just a scout of that starport, meaning that Fantasy knows everything up until now about what you know, what Flash is doing, and he is going with 2 starports, meaning he will be able to pump out a lot of Wraiths here. And Flash is indeed throwing out missile turrets because he cannot otherwise be able to afford to, you know, to defend his tanks here and his Marines. And Cloak, Oh man, hiding that SCV there in between the tanks and also repairing the tanks with it at the same time, and now bringing it out again to build that missile turret. Very, very difficult position for Flash here, and I guess those are maybe Flash fangirls because they look pretty worried, and they should be really, because Flash isn't doing that great. He is managing to take down that bunker over there, but still, it's questionable if Flash will be able to do anything really from this point on against Fantasy, because Fantasy seems to already have some strong, and he already has his first Wraiths out. The players are pretty much on par right now as far as their armies are concerned, meaning that really Flash is running out of possibilities here, and also Cloak having been researched for Fantasy.